Hi everybody, this is Ellen. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make my Puffy Heart on one loom. I think this thing is just absolutely adorable. I started out with this one. I didn't quite like how it had turned out. Just right here in the center was the only issue that I really had. So I made one. I tried to double it just to see if I could kind of get rid of that or change the band color and double it, but that didn't really do it, so I tried a different way, and eventually I came up with this one, and I think this looks fabulous this way because it gives that nice little heart shape to it. I didn't puff out the back side, it's just puffy on the front, and I'll tell you, I didn't have this in my regular Puffy Heart tutorial, but I made one that was puffy on both sides, and I'm not quite happy with it yet. Needs a little bit more work, I think, or I don't know if it's just because I tried doing it all the same color. But the other thing that I had an issue with is you have to stuff this, otherwise it just doesn't have a shape to it, and it was a pain to stuff it because there isn't really a good spot to get in here to actually get something in there. But I just thought I'd show you what it would look like, and it still has the heart shape. It just didn't quite come out how I had hoped when it was puffy on both sides, so I got a little bit of work to do on that one. But I'm going to show you how to do it this way. We don't have to fill it. It's puffy all on its own, which I think is awesome. The banding is fairly simple, I think. I mean, this still is an advanced design. I'll try to make it as easy as possible, but of course when you're taking a design that is normally 5 pin bars wide and putting it onto 3 does get a little bit more complicated, and then especially adding in the little puffy thing that I do. So we will get started with this, and so like I said, one loom, regular setup, and we're going to start by laying kind of the majority of the heart on here, and then we're actually going to lay the bottom for the next part just so it's there and we're ready to go with it. So we'll start here, and it is the outside perimeter is double banded. Get my bands over here. We're going to make this one orange. I think I like this so much because it reminds me of, I used to play a lot of Zelda, like a lot, and it kind of reminds me of the hearts for the energy. But sorry, little side note. Okay, so perimeter, double banded, 2 bands. We're just going to start so you can get up in an angle. I had the loom set up in the regular way. So we're just going to go 2 bands to the left and do that twice. I'll come in here a little bit. Then 2 bands up. And then 1 band, or it's 2 bands, but it's 1 to the right, and then come back down and kind of make like a heart shape. Like so. And then we're going to lay some of the bands that we're going to do for puffing. And the one thing about this is that some of the bands, I've just done most of them the solid on the inside because we do puff it up so that the bands that are right here along the edge are the ones that we're going to drop, and then there are end caps in here that end up coming forward, so those have to be a certain color too. But I don't know if you can make it a solid color first so you can kind of get an idea of where the bands go, and then you can change the colors, and if you want to do some rainbow stuff in there or something. But what we're going to do is we're going to drop a band that'll be the color of the inside of your heart on all these pins except for this one. I think dropping the bands just makes it a little easier. So like that. And then on this pin you're going to drop the bands that you want for what your perimeter color is, and you're going to drop 2 of them. Like so. Then we'll lay the bands for the inside. And starting here from this pin, we're going to go out to the corner and then down. And then from this pin, we're going to go down, meet up over here, and then go down to the bottom. That's kind of just a little zigzag. And we're going to do the same thing for the next kind of pin row up here. So from this pin out to the side and then down. And then from this pin out here and here. And then up here, we're going to go from the center pin to the outside. And then again from the center pin up. And then from this point right here, we're going to come back to this center pin. And then down. So that's the layout for the bottom. And actually, sorry, this band right here, this last one we put on, I want you to double it. So 2 bands right there. Like so. That just helps with, there's kind of a little gap that appears just because of the banding, and that helps fill it up, and plus it helps bring the heart shape down. So there's this is the side that we're puffing out. I don't think I mentioned that, but I hoped you kind of gathered that by the fact that I was using the colors. So that's the first half. And then we're just going to go up here and we're just going to lay the bottom part of this, just so it's a little easier to get it done now. So we went, this is the left side of the heart, so now we're going to do the right side of the heart. And first what I want you to do is just put a band like this straight up. This will be your perimeter colors, just 1 band, and this will be what we'll use to tie up the bottom. So now we're just going to do the heart shape, but opposite. So 2 bands again for the perimeter. Go to the right, and go up. Go back to the left. And then to the left but down. Like that. And now the bands in this one, since we did more than half on this side, we only have to do a few on this one. We want to drop our color bands first. So we're just going to drop it on these 5 pins over here. Like so. And now for the filler bands, come from this pin right here, back to the right, this pin down, and then to the outside corner. Then this pin right here, we're going to come back to the center pin, and we'll go up. So again, if you just think of it like a little zigzag right there. And then this one this way, and then straight up, and then to the right. So that's the banding for the second half on the bottom. We still have to put the end caps on, both of them, but I just kind of want to get that base out of the way, because then it'll be a little bit easier with this stuff. So, but like I said, this still is an advanced design, so I'm trying to go a little bit slower so everybody can follow. Alright, so we need end caps. They need to be on these 3 pins up here. You want them to be the color of the inside that you're doing, because like I said, they do show up. There's one there, one right there, one there, and one there. So they do show up inside the heart after we do the drop. So these 3 pins, and you want to triple wrap them around the pin. So 3 times around. Like so. So now once we have that, we can do some looming. So we're just going to turn this one around. We're just working on that first one that we just put the end caps on. And we're just going to start by coming in our end cap here, going in there, grabbing the 2 bands, and pulling them back towards themselves. And come into this end cap up here, just the 1 band now, back towards itself, and the same thing over in this one. The order that which you band these, I mean mainly we just start with the 3 up here, then we go here, and then to the next 2 here. It doesn't really matter a whole lot. Like I can start over here in this one and loom out these 2, or I can start back over here and do these 2. It doesn't really matter unless you like really change the colors on the inside and want a pattern. So like if I looped over the outside first and then I looped over the inside, you might get an overlap of bands that's different on the other side. So that's kind of why too I've been mainly doing just 1 color throughout the inside, just for the change in banding for the looping, but it's not a big deal. You do kind of go the whichever way you want. And I probably should grab this other band here too. Yeah. Make sure you get that band. So now we kind of created little end caps here, so we're just going to go in and loom these out. Whatever band's on top, pull it back towards itself and grab the bottom one. And the same thing in this next spot. That's why I recommend doing it like 1 color first, so you can kind of get an idea of where the bands go. And then over here into this end cap we created, like so. So that is the inside looping done. So now we're going to drop or make it so that it does the puff. What we're going to do is just you stick your hook in through your bands right here, grab the band you dropped, pull it up like you're going to loop it, and I usually put the other end on my hook, pull off the bands that are on the pin, and then I'll put this back on to the pin. And we'll do the same thing for the next ones. Go in through the center, pull it up like you're going to loop it, get them both on your hook, pull that off, put it back on the pin. And just do that all the way around. Except for, wait for me to get over here to the end, because that one's a little bit different. So now we have that dropped for the puff. Now with this one, this is the band that I had to kind of figure out to get it to look the way that I thought looked the best. This is the one that kind of comes down to make that little point in the heart. And the way that I did it, that I think looks the best, so we're just going to go in there, grab that band, and pull it up like we did before. And if you want, I mean, it'd be better if you just put it right on the pin. So the same stuff we did before, but now I want you to pick up the top bands, so it's like this, and I want you to give it a couple twists. So there's 1 and 2. Give it a couple twists and then put it back on the pin. And that helps to avoid this. This one had a space when I doubled it, and once I added the twists in, helped make that be a nice point to it. So that's what we did that. Alright, so now, because we are doing the puff, we actually need to add another layer on top of this. So we're going to turn our loom back around, and all we're going to do is repeat the same inside pattern that we had before. We're not dropping any bands, because I guess if you were going to try and do the double, you would drop bands again. But I'm just going to do this way, because I think it looks great that way by itself. Well, it'll look like this when it's done, or this. So, start again, and kind of do a little zigzag pattern. These are just single banded, so like that. And the next row starts from these pins over here. Kind of do that zigzag over. And then over to the left, up, then back to the center pin there, and up. This one we don't have to double band like we do on the bottom for the middle of the front of the heart. If you're going to puff it out, you probably would double this one. Puff it out both ways, not one way. Alright, so now we need end caps again on these 3 pins. And these will be triple wrapped, or it's usually good enough. If your bands are super stretchy, you might want to go 4 times. Like so. Now we'll loom this out, so we'll turn it around. Go in through your end caps up here, your top 3. Just grab the band that's on top, loom it back towards itself. Like that's the first row. And the next ones will come out of these 2 pins. Remember, we're just getting the top layer here, so don't get anything underneath. And then it comes out of these 2. Like so. So now we just need to do the perimeter banding. So you come in through your end cap up here, grab those bottom 2 bands, and just loop them over. And go all the way to the point. Like so. So that is the first half. You'll want to make sure that nothing is connected in between the 2. And you just kind of pull in and look underneath there. And I'm good. So now we need to move this up here. And I really think that it's not too difficult, which I will show by my not really using anything besides my fingers. Right here there is there's an end cap, and there is, let's see, I don't think that there aren't any open bands. It's just that it's kind of a few bands connected together by this side piece right here. So there's nothing open here. Your open point is here, but these make big nice spaces that are easy to find when we do the transfer. So I am just going to stick my hook. Actually, first I'm going to loosen these up a little bit. And I'll stick my hook in through here, the open end, and I'll take this off the loom. But I'm going to just kind of hang on to this open spot a little bit. You can kind of see there's half of our heart going on. This is still pretty easy to find, but I just keep my finger in there anyways. Bring it on up here. Make sure your puffy side is down. The end cap goes there. Everything that's open that's on your hook right now needs to go on this pin right here. So just find that center, like so. And once you have that on, just try to make sure you don't pull it off while we're manipulating this. But I'll try and do this. Get that out of the way. If we look at this, there is an end cap, and then right below that are the bands for the kind of the two double bands that we used. Those are going to go on that first pin. And then right below that, there's another open spot, and those will go on those pins. Like so. So you have, if you look at this really closely, make sure you got you're with me here. Kind of look at starting at your bottom. You have your colored band that you dropped. You have the band that used to be around the pin. Then the next section is on your pin now. The next section is on the next pin up. And then up here, you have an end cap, like so. So we'll turn our loom around. And there is one little change I have to make in the banding here. This band technically needs to come out of this end cap. Not a huge deal. Just stick your hook down in there, pop it off, go in through the end cap, grab the band, and pull it back. Like that. And now, before I forget, we need the end caps up here. So 3 times around on these 2 pins. Like that. In through the end cap, just pull this band down towards itself. Same thing for this one. And you go in through the center, grab not that band. Try that again. Grab the top band, or the ones that aren't looped. Loom those out. This band is fine to come out of here. And then go ahead and loom out this corner. And this one. And then this one is fine to come out of that spot. So that's what we have there. So now we need to drop these ones. So going through your little section, your little bands here, pull that one up, take those off, and drop this, and do that all the way around. like so. So that is our bottom layer. So now we need to pop up the top layer on the side. So looking here, you have the end cap, and the next space down should be on the pin, and then the next space is on the pin. So that's what that should look like. And I actually could have waited to do that until I laid the other bands, but we'll just fix it now. So we're just going to lay the bands where we did before, kind of the condensed version of our zigzags. Right here, up, and then here. Now you can put that back on. Go ahead and take that one back off. Put your band there. Then up, back towards there, up, well, we also, if you remove this top cap, put this band here, and put this back on. On the other side. Now you're going to want to do our end caps right here on these two pins. Perimeter color 3 times around. Like so. And we'll turn this around. And we're going to loom out our end caps here. So through the end cap, and then just grab that top layer, take it back towards itself. Make sure you don't catch any of the under bands. And loom out through here. Put this back on, and you can loom out through there, and this pin are the ones that are left. Like so. So now we'll do our perimeter banding on this side. Go in and grab that bottom band and pull it all the way over and go to the point. And then for here, I just go in and grab that one band carefully because it is tight. I'll pull this band, I usually go up. Grab it. I went in through the center, grabbed the band, pulled it up. And if I loosen that, that becomes my slip knot to close it. So I'll come back here and let some of this off. And grab your slip knot there, pull this off, pull that tight, and then you turn it around and you have a awesome little heart that's puffy. Looks fabulous. So that is my little puffy heart. I hope you like it as much as I do. I'm very excited to share it with you, and sharing it with you on one loom as well. That's always awesome. I didn't show you this one. The bubble bands are on the edge. I think it's great. So, oh, can't have two oranges together. So I hope you like this tutorial. It is fairly easy to follow. It is more difficult, I understand that, because it is a lot to do in a little bit of space. But I'm sure a lot of you can figure out a lot of the banding, because a lot of you guys come up with great ideas that I didn't even think of when I was doing a design. So it's very cool to see the evolution of the designs. I want to say thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I will have more tutorials for you soon. I said that really weird, soon. And don't forget to subscribe so you can see what I have coming out with next. Hopefully you'll like them just as much. But make yourself a little heart, and thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.